You're listening to Home Sweet Home. And now here's Russ McClellan.
Welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan. I'll tell you what, right now, more than anything, let's call 5 people and say, hey, what can I do for you? That coming from a place of contribution is a good thing. Right now, though, I got Michael Maher with PrimeLending, my co-host and partner in crime on the radio show Home Sweet Home. Michael, thanks for calling in. Sorry I can't high-five you in person, but these are the days.
Social distancing.
Yeah, I was laughing with Fletcher. It wasn't even a word or 2 words. It wasn't even a thing. Now it's a thing.
Right.
I wonder who was the author of that. We should probably give him some kudos. But hopefully it doesn't last long and it goes away. Well, man, I saw a meme or a post or whatever you want to call it. I'm old enough to not even really know the difference. And it was funny because it said mortgage rates. And it was like steady, steady, steady. And then it showed this, bam, just up and down all around circles. Like, oh, that's all. That's all we got to try to figure out is what the hell's going on with the rates, man. And what can we do about it? What's really, from your perspective in lending, what are you seeing and what's your advice?
So honestly, at this point in the game and what we're going through right now, there's just a ton of volatility in the market, and everyone can speculate and everyone seems to have a crystal ball and they think they know what's going to happen, and they may have an idea, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who you're working with and if you're not being affected directly and you have a good job and you are deemed essential in that part and you're still wanting to buy a house, it's about having a good team surrounding you, giving you good advice, because now's the opportunity. Over the last few weeks, I've seen rates, especially on the state bond loan, as that's one that typically stays pretty consistent. I saw it go from 3%, and over the course of 2 days, it was up to 5.125%. And then it went back down this week or so to around 3%. So, and that's over the course of a couple days. So it's about, like I said, surrounding yourself with a good team of advisors and still taking advantage of the opportunity. I was just on a call with Crystal Hughes out of your office in Keller Williams.
Right.
And we had a great live discussion about all of this and how much, with rates as far as where they're at and potential sellers maybe being a little bit spooked about finding buyers, maybe there's a deal out there that you wouldn't normally get if this wasn't happening right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we know for sure, based on Econ 101, is that when you borrow money as a country, meaning like, $2 trillion between friends, with T, capital T, inflation happens. It's just the way of the world. We have a printing press. And our printing press is backed not by gold, has been that way in a long time. It's backed by confidence. Nope. And as long as there is consumer confidence in our dollar, nationally and internationally, then we're in pretty good shape. However, with inflation, sometimes there's this thing called a rise in interest rates. And for those that are not old enough to know or haven't heard, once upon a time, our interest rate was about 19%. That was back in the Jimmy Carter days as president of the United States. We're at what now, Michael? What do you think we're at right now today?
I would honestly say, at this point, I would, to adjust for volatility, I would say low threes, low to mid threes, depending on the day. And I've locked a couple people in the high twos on the right day it happened.
That's almost free.
Twos. After you account for any tax benefits and such, like you said, you're basically getting free money at that point.
And my real concern, and it's to I think you have this concern, what you just mentioned, is shoot the gap, people. Shoot the gap. There's an old saying, Warren Buffett, once upon a time, I think it was Warren Buffett, said, buy when other people are selling and sell when other people are buying. Pretty good business practice. And right now, you are right. There are people all over the board with different risk tolerances, different predictions, and there's a lot of doomsdayers out there for sure. And it's uncharted territories, so it's good to be real. It's good to say maybe, I guess. But I know if I don't press the pedal down and take advantage of what's called the cost of money, interest rates, right? Cost of money at historical lows or pretty close to it. And then I can fix a rate at under 3% or just over 3% for 30 years and buy a house And if I can take advantage of somebody else's panic, which we're counseling our sellers not to panic because we still have a supply and demand problem. Not enough homes in most price points. So at the end of the day, get in now. Because here's what I see, Michael, and tell me if you think I'm wrong. The millennial crowd, which you are, right?
Yep.
You're already pretty good at tech. You're already pretty good at working virtual, Zoom, Facebook Live, Microsoft Teams, whatever program. You're pretty well accustomed to it, and you probably wonder yourself once in a while, like, why do I even have to go anywhere?
Yeah.
I mean, so you can imagine how many people are on the west side of the mountains thinking to themselves in the last, 2 years, why am I driving 2 hours on I-5 to have a stupid meeting that I could do from my office at home? Well, guess what? What I see happening right now is that we have adopted and are adopting as owners of all companies, from yoga studios to real estate and everything in between, this idea of virtual offices. We're buying tech as owners and managers, CEOs. We're buying the hardware. We're buying the software. We're buying the cameras. We're providing the training. And so if I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. If I could make money in Chelan or Leavenworth or Wenatchee, I'd move there. So guess what's about to happen, in my humble opinion, when this is all over, and it will get over eventually? I think there's a spike in demand. At the same time, because we're borrowing $2 trillion, I see interest rates climbing. And so not only will you have to compete if you wait to buy with other people, but you might have to buy at a higher rate, which means the cost of money is going to be expensive over 30 years versus what it is right now.
Exactly.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. And I think one important thing you brought up is it's crazy and quite eye-opening how quickly technology can advance in this day and age when there's a crisis. I mean, we went from no e-closings whatsoever to now we just passed a law where potentially even the note and deed of trust will be able to be electronically signed via an electronic notary. And why this wasn't, I think this was in the pipeline to happen, but because of the circumstances, it was forced to be implemented a little bit earlier. And we've already had quite a few successful closings where there was nobody involved. They signed all of their closing docs in the comfort of their own home, and that was it. So we are seeing some major advancements over these last few months just based on the fact that it's been out of necessity.
Yeah. I mean, so what I'm telling buyers, and hey, I mean, there's a lot of people. My dad wants it to be 1952. That was a good year, and he's had a great life, and we're going through some tough times right now with him. But
yeah, you are.
1987 was a pretty good year for me in Manson. I had 22 kids in my senior class. Growing up, everybody, small farmers were, my dad raised 3 kids on 10 acres. Those days have changed, and we're not going to be able to go back to them. And the reason I bring these things up, this nostalgia kind of concept, is that people like, darn it, I don't want those people coming. I don't want to, why is they're driving up the price? No, at the end of the day, supply and demand, right?
Yep.
That's the key. We live in an area that has 300 days of sunshine, big lakes, big mountains, very little crime. Do you blame anybody for wanting to be here? I mean, honestly,
Not at all. Especially with the ability to work remotely now too.
You're here. So, I often say in Chelan, should we blow the tunnel? Should we put a tank at the top of the hill and stop people from entering the town? I mean, do you want to turn this?
The rocks do that for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's about let's have some more supply to balance it out, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if they want to call you, what's the best way to get a hold of you right now?
Yeah, my number is 509-670-8991. And definitely reach out if you have questions about refinancing, purchasing, anything now. I'm not one for, fear-based anything, but these interest rates, they have shown they don't stick around. I mean, we went from over the course of a week where the historic lows were gone and they're back for a little while. We just don't know what's going to happen. We can all assume they're going to go up, but talk with a lender now, hopefully give us a chance. But yeah, it's definitely kind of a now, or you may lose out on this time right now.
Yeah, and there's a ton of refinances, so get in line, shoot the gap, my friends. Shoot the gap and get in now. I'd rather see my friends buy that are local right now while the prices are not going to jump, because I think they are in time. Maybe not right away, but in time. Hey, thanks for calling in, Michael. Appreciate all your help with our firm. You guys are doing an amazing job at PrimeLending. Michael Maher, 670-8991. give them a call, and you'll talk to anybody about their situation at any time, right?
Absolutely. Thanks, Russ.
All right, buddy. As always, guys, coming into the end of our show, throw that phone in the drawer. I know you're supposed to social distancing. That's a good plan. But get outside a little bit. Make some exercise happen. It's a new era. Let's make it happen. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Thanks for tuning in to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan. Have a great Saturday.
I have a new home. Home sweet home. Thanks, Keller Williams. I love my dream home.